Hey, you. Yeah, don't scroll now. Something's trembling in the air around you, and I want you to feel it before it hits. Because the moment you posted those receipts, the entire internet's bloodstream changed direction. Every timeline, every group chat, every secret moderator panel, every little digital cult that swore they had you figured out. All of them froze like lab rats watching the scalpel descend. And the funniest part? You didn't even try. You just dropped reality on their heads like a casual afterthought. No warning, no mercy. Just truth sharpened to a surgical blade. And now every demon that used to laugh at you is suddenly choking on their own breath, scrambling to rewrite the script they thought you'd stick to. But oh, sweetheart, you stopped following their script the moment you were born. They thought you were emotional. You turned out to be evidence-based. They thought you were dramatic. You turned out to be documented. They thought you were bluffing. You turned out to be the walking archive of every sin they swore nobody would ever see. And when you hit post, oh, the air shifted. You could almost hear the pulse of their collective panic. Please God, not that screenshot, not that angle, not that timestamp. But you didn't flinch, because you weren't posting to prove anything. You were posting to bury something they thought would stay hidden under miles of silence, guilt, and gaslighting. But you cracked the coffin, and the truth crawled out with your name carved into its spine. Tell me, how does it feel, knowing one tap of your finger activated more fear than their entire facade ever generated? How does it feel watching people who once mocked you now scramble to explain, clarify, contextualize, unsee, backtrack, and edit captions? How does it feel knowing their entire identity, the fake confidence, the curated persona, the edited morality, all just folded in half because you pressed post? That must be delicious, not just satisfying. Delicious. Because here's the part that's really driving them insane. You didn't rage, you didn't scream, you didn't go on a rant, you didn't even threaten. You simply dropped receipts like a guillotine blade and let gravity handle the rest. And gravity has never been known to miss. Let me tell you why this terrifies them. Most people fight chaos by pretending it's not there. You fight chaos by becoming its narrator. You don't break under pressure. You sharpen under it. You don't warn people. You educate them in private and destroy them in public. You are duality incarnate. Light when you choose, dark when required, saint when calm, psychopath when cornered, angel when you give, demon when they lie. That's what they never understood. You move like a paradox with a pulse. And every time someone tries to box you in, you break the box, fold the cardboard, set it on fire, and use the ashes to write the next chapter. But today was different. Today wasn't revenge. Today wasn't anger. Today wasn't ego. Today was justice wearing your face. No threats, no noise, no drama. Just truth dropped with surgical precision, like a scalpel slipped between ribs. You didn't expose them to humiliate them. You exposed them because the truth had been suffocating inside your chest for too long. And the moment you let it out, the entire internet shivered. And somewhere in a dim room right now, someone is pacing back and forth, hands in their hair, heart hammering like a war drum, muttering, "Why did they post that? Why now? How did they have all this? How long have they known?" Let me answer for you. You knew the whole time. You just didn't feel the need to speak. But silence is a luxury. And today, they ran out of credit. Look at you now. You don't beg for respect. You trigger it. You don't demand the truth. You release it. You don't try to win the game. You flip the entire table and let every piece land wherever fate decides. Unpredictability isn't your weakness, it's your weapon. Because nobody can defend against someone who isn't trying to win. You're not playing, you're documenting, you're witnessing, you're archiving. And when the time comes, you drop receipts like thunderclaps. And thunder never apologizes for being loud. So listen closely. Because this is the part they'll never admit out loud. The moment you posted those receipts, you stopped being a person to them. You became a problem, a file, a threat, a timeline bomb, a walking timestamp with perfect recall. And nothing terrifies the guilty more than someone with memory, evidence, and zero fear. So breathe in, champ. Let the panic ripple. Let the shockwaves travel. Let the silence after your post do the talking. Because today, you didn't just expose someone. You exposed an entire ecosystem built on lies. And the internet? Oh, the internet loves a villain who tells the truth. Welcome to your new era, where your silence is dangerous, but your posts cataclysmic. So you want to keep going? Good, because the part that's unfolding now, that's where the real quake begins. The moment after your post, the aftershock nobody can outrun. That's where your legend starts forming itself like smoke, gathering into a shape. Let me show you what's happening behind the screens right now, in the spaces you'll never see but always feel. Some people aren't breathing. Some people are rewriting their entire identity. Some people are reopening old screenshots, hoping to find a loophole. Some people are scrolling through your page like it's a crime scene. Some people are deeming each other in panic, asking the same 3 words. Did you see that? And deep down, they all know the truth. You didn't post to expose anyone. You posted to end an era. And oh, did the era end? You see, people forget something about you. You don't fight the way normal people fight. You don't shout louder. You cut sharper. You don't drag anyone. You simply hold up a mirror and let them recognize the monster wearing their reflection. You're not chaotic. You are strategic disorder. You don't create destruction. You reveal the destruction they pretended didn't exist. And that's why your post hit harder than any rant ever could. Because receipts? Oh, receipts don't argue. Receipts don't exaggerate. Receipts don't lie. Receipts whisper the truth in a tone nobody can talk over. You know what's strangest? You weren't even aiming for the jugular. The truth just happens to be lethal when it escapes your custody. Every time you drop it, someone's reputation flatlines. Someone's whole digital kingdom collapses. Someone's carefully curated persona melts like cheap makeup under a spotlight. Because they built their empire on illusion, you built yours on memory. They built their image with lies. You built your power with timestamps. They built their ego on what people think. You built yours on what you know. They built a mask. You built a case. Now look. Look closely at the silence around you. It isn't emptiness. It's fear disguised as quiet. People don't know whether to block you, worship you, study you, apologize to you, or distance themselves so they're not next in line. You've become a myth with Wi-Fi, a cautionary tale with a camera roll, a ghost who shows up with evidence. And evidence? Evidence doesn't need permission to speak. Do you feel it? The shift? That subtle but seismic change in the way people carry your name in their mouths. It's heavier now. Too heavy for some of them. Because every syllable reminds them you're not just aware. You're armed. And the best part? You didn't even post the worst of it. They know it. You know it. Everyone knows it. Your silence has always been more dangerous than your words. Your restraint has always scared them more than your rage. Your patience has always looked to them like a countdown they couldn't decode. And when you finally posted, "Oh, darling," they realized the countdown reached 0. Let me tell you something they would rather swallow glass than admit. They misread you completely. They thought you were harmless until they noticed the timestamps. They thought you were quiet until they saw the pattern. They thought you were naive until you revealed the proof. They thought you were emotional until you posted with surgical precision and terrifying calm. They thought you were the joke. Turns out, you were the plot twist. But here's the real reason they're losing their minds. You didn't just expose a person. You exposed an ecosystem. You showed people how manipulation looks when the lights turn on. You showed how every harmless lie becomes sharp under the right angle. You showed how truth doesn't need volume, just screenshots. And now everyone who ever doubted you is replaying your conversations in their head, trying to figure out what version of them you remember. And here's the thing about memory. When someone like you remembers, they don't survive the replay. You've crossed into a new category of human existence. Not a victim, not a hero, not a villain, something rarer. You became the one person in the room nobody wants to lie to. Because you don't dismantle people with words. You dismantle them with evidence. You dismantle them with accuracy. You dismantle them with the truth they thought was safely buried in the dark. You are the walking embodiment of, "I don't raise my voice, I raise my files." And now the whole internet's in meltdown mode. Not because you exposed someone, but because you proved something. That the person they underestimated, the person they dismissed, the person they mocked, the person they lied to, that person woke up. And once someone like you wakes up, you don't return to sleep. You return as the storm. Oh, you want more? Good. Because the deeper we go, the sharper this gets. The truth you unleashed isn't done spreading, it's mutating, branching, infecting every place your name is whispered. Let's peel back another layer, the one they pray you never notice. Right now, someone is sitting in front of a glowing screen, refreshing every 5 seconds, watching your post like it's a bomb with a timer they can't defuse. Their mind is replaying every lie they told, every manipulation, every deleted message, every moment they thought you weren't paying attention. But you were. You were always paying attention. They mistook your calm for ignorance. They mistook your silence for forgetfulness. They mistook your kindness for blindness. But silence is not stupidity. Silence is surveillance. And you were the calm before their collapse. Do you know what's happening now? People are checking your old posts, trying to read between the lines. People who once mocked you now sit with their stomachs twisting, wondering how many chapters you've archived. People who once felt superior to you are now editing their entire personalities in real time, afraid your next post might unravel them. You became a threat to the guilty and a prophecy to the innocent. The internet loves that combination. Let's talk about power for a moment. Most people think power is volume, screaming, shouting, grandstanding, public theatrics. But you showed them what real power looks like. Precision, one post, one drop, one truth. And their entire castle went silent. You didn't shout. You didn't rant. You didn't even raise an eyebrow. You simply pressed post and let the universe handle the screaming for you. Here's what they forgot. Light doesn't expose the truth. Darkness does. Because only in the dark do people reveal what they truly are. And you walked through that darkness with open eyes, collecting every whisper, every contradiction, every inconsistency they thought you'd never notice. You didn't just gather receipts, you gathered patterns. And patterns? Oh, patterns destroy people far quicker than proof ever could. Now look at the situation you created. People who once bragged about not caring suddenly care more than their lungs care about oxygen. People who once said, "Who's gonna believe them?" now have to explain why everyone believes you. Because truth delivered calmly is so much scarier than lies delivered loudly. You're not chaotic, you're calculated. You're not reactive, you're prophetic. You're not emotional, you're exact. And exactness, that's what terrifies them the most. Because you don't miss, you never miss. You simply wait until the perfect moment. Then you strike with the kind of accuracy that makes grown adults reconsider their entire lifestyle. And the funniest part? The truly poetic part? You still haven't posted the full story. You gave them a chapter, a sample, a preview, just enough to make the guilty panic and the observant applaud. Just enough to let the world know you're not someone to cross. You're someone to fear. Right now, your name is doing laps around the internet like a wildfire wearing boots. Someone's pacing, someone's crying, someone's cursing at their phone, someone's deleting DMs at 3 a.m. Someone's Googling, "Can you sue for screenshots?" Someone's voice just cracked mid-explanation because they realized your evidence doesn't lie. Someone you haven't spoken to in months just whispered to a friend, "Bro, I told you, messing with them would end bad." But here's the part that elevates you to a new category entirely. You didn't do this for attention. You didn't do this for vengeance. You didn't do this for applause. You did it because the truth was suffocating you, and the moment you released it, the entire internet felt the oxygen shift. Your intention was pure. Your delivery was lethal. Your timing was divine. And the impact, oh, the impact was irreversible. Let me carve the final revelation into your memory. They thought you were the victim. You were the historian. They thought you were weak. You were recording. They thought you were emotional. You were collecting data. They thought you were harmless. You were building the archive. And when you finally released it, even the strongest demon in the room felt a shiver crawl up their spine. So breathe, slowly, deeply. Feel the shift you caused. Feel the silence you command. Feel the panic you triggered. Because today wasn't just a post. Today was a reckoning wearing your fingerprints. And the internet? The internet will remember this day long after the guilty stop pretending they're innocent. They're not scared of you. They're scared of the truth that follows you everywhere you go. You're still here? Good. Because the truth hasn't even finished unspooling yet. You think the meltdown is over? Oh no. It's accelerating. Let's keep sinking deeper into the parts of this story no one will ever admit they felt. Right now, behind every locked screen and carefully curated profile, there's a riot happening in silence. Someone is rereading your post with trembling fingers, zooming in, squinting, analyzing timestamps like their life depends on it. Because it does. Someone is crafting a 3-paragraph explanation that still won't explain a damn thing. Someone else is typing and deleting, because every version makes them look more guilty. Another one is rehearsing a fake calm tone in voice memos, hoping they can sound unbothered while their soul is melting. And the best part? You haven't said a single extra word. No follow-ups, no clarifications, no commentary. Just that one devastating post, one single drop, and the entire ecosystem is convulsing. Let's talk about their panic. Not the cute kind, not the dramatic kind, the existential kind. Do you understand how rare that is? To make a grown human realize their entire digital personality is built on a foundation of lies so fragile that your screenshot, your truth, was enough to send it crumbling like wet chalk. You made their whole identity collapse in real time without raising your voice, lifting your finger, or breaking your composure. This isn't drama. This isn't chaos. This is precision demolition. And here comes the twist that's eating them alive. You didn't even post everything. You didn't show the full timeline. You didn't drop the worst messages. You didn't release the audio. You didn't reveal the patterns behind the patterns. You posted just enough to make the guilty panic and the watchers whisper, if this is what they released, what the hell are they still holding back? Your restraint is the blade they fear more than your evidence. Picture this, somewhere right now. A liar is praying, a manipulator is sweating, a pretender is refreshing your page every 2 minutes. A person who once bragged about not caring is now pacing like an inmate waiting for sentencing. And they're whispering the same question over and over. How long have they known? How much did they see? How much do they have? And the answer, everything. You saw it all. You heard it all. You remembered it all. Because people like you don't forget. You observe, you store, you archive, you calculate. And when the moment is right, you let the truth speak for itself. Let's peel back another layer of why this moment is historic. You've officially entered the territory of people who don't need to defend themselves. People who don't beg for clarity. People who don't argue. You let receipts talk for you. And receipts talk in a language that guilt understands instantly. You unlocked a new level of presence, the person nobody wants to lie to ever again. Because lying to someone like you is not just stupid, it's suicidal. And the funniest irony? They underestimated you because you were quiet. Quiet people scare the loudest demons. Quiet people hear the details others think they hide. Quiet people observe the entire battlefield while everyone else is too busy performing. You didn't need revenge. You didn't need validation. You didn't need approval. You needed the truth to breathe. And when the truth breathes, people suffocate. Here's what's happening in real time. Group chats are splitting. Screenshots of your screenshot are circulating in places you've never stepped into. People who once ignored you are now obsessively watching your profile like it's a live news broadcast. Half the internet is panicking, the other half is clapping. And the tiny percentage who truly understand you are sitting back smiling like, this was inevitable. Let me tell you what you unlocked today. Authority without noise, power without performance, revenge without rage, justice without begging. You took the high road and turned it into a throne. You didn't stoop to their level. You didn't fight dirty. You didn't scream back. You simply exposed the architecture of their lies and let the collapse happen naturally. Because truth doesn't need a push. It collapses rotten structures on contact. But here's the part that cements your transformation. People are calculating their distance from you. Some are stepping closer, respectfully, cautiously, admirably. Others are stepping back, fearfully, quietly, strategically. But nobody, and I mean nobody, is viewing you the same way they did yesterday. You walked into a new tier of existence today. The tier where you don't chase respect. You trigger it. Where you don't ask for honesty. You enforce it. Where you don't expose people. You reveal their true nature simply by being present. So inhale this moment. Let it settle in your bones. Feel what it means to hold truth like a blade and silence like an army. Because what you did today wasn't a post. It wasn't drama. It wasn't tea. It wasn't petty. It was a reckoning, a shift in the power dynamic, a reminder that people can only underestimate you until the day they realize you were documenting their downfall with the calm of a future legend. And make no mistake, they aren't scared of being exposed. They're scared because you're the one who saw them. They aren't terrified of your receipts. They're terrified of your memory. Well. Huh. You feel that? A quiet pressure in the air. Like the whole room just remembered your name and forgot its courage. Good. Because I've been waiting for this version of you to wake up. You know what's funny? They strutted around you like you were some soft little puzzle they could solve over lunch. They thought you were easy to play, a toy, a pawn, a predictable human algorithm they could press buttons on and watch dance. But you don't dance when they press buttons. You detonate. And oh, the silence when you flipped that table. When you shattered the script they wrote for you. When every demon in the room froze like a statue carved out of fear and humiliation. You didn't raise your voice, you didn't throw a punch. You just changed the gravity of the moment. And suddenly, the predators forgot how to breathe. Because here's the secret they were never equipped to handle. You were never the game. You were the glitch, the anomaly, the catastrophic error their little minds weren't coded to process. They wanted to play you. But you're the kind of puzzle that eats the solver. And the best part, you let them underestimate you. You let them get comfortable. You played dumb so they'd reveal their tactics, expose their patterns, loosen their guard. Then, when they leaned in real close, thinking you were harmless, you tilted your head, smiled, and turned the whole battlefield inside out. Do you realize what that does to a person's psyche? To spend weeks, months, years telling themselves you're predictable, only to discover you've been quietly sharpening your wings behind their backs? Oh, the panic, the pure, uncut panic. I swear I saw demons whisper, "Stop, stop, this one's not normal." But you kept going, because once you switch from prey to predator, there's no going back. That moment, that perfect moment, when you flipped the table. It wasn't rage, it wasn't rebellion, it was revelation. It was every hidden part of you, the saint and the psychopath, the angel and the executioner, stepping out of the dark and saying, "I'm done playing fair." And the universe felt it. Not just the room, not just the people watching, but the entire fabric of reality that's been waiting for you to stop pretending to be weak. Because here's the paradox that terrifies them. You're gentle enough to heal, but violent enough to end anything that threatens that peace. You're kind enough to forgive, but merciless enough to erase someone from your world without blinking. You're light enough to guide, but dark enough to make every demon reconsider its career path. That's what makes them choke. They don't fear your darkness. They fear the fact that you control it. They fear that you don't lash out. You calculate. You wait. You let them think they're winning, and then you crush the entire board with one move. That's not anger. That's strategy. That's evolution forged in pain, betrayal, and years of swallowing storms. And now they're praying you don't get serious, because you taught them something that will haunt them for the rest of their pathetic lives. A quiet person isn't weak. They're a damn disaster waiting for a reason. And you finally found your reason. No more shrinking, no more soft edges, no more pretending you don't see everything. They thought you were easy to manipulate, but you're the kind of soul that makes demons shut up mid-sentence. They thought you were easy to break, but you're the kind of force that makes nightmares call in sick. They thought you were easy to predict, but you're the chaos they'll never decode. And that look on their faces, the shock, the fear, the "oh God, what have we done?" That's your new crown. Wear it, because from now on, every room you enter will feel the shift. That quiet tremor that says, "Be careful." This one survived hell and learned how to rearrange the furniture. Now tell me, do you feel it too? That pulse in your spine, that electricity under your skin, that's the new you, the one who doesn't get played, the one who doesn't bow, the one who flips tables with a smile and makes entire demons hold their breath. Welcome to your evolution, kid. They don't get to play with you anymore. You're the whole damn game now. Ah, there it is. That shift in your breathing, that quiet ignition in your chest, that moment your shadow stands taller than your past. Good, because we're not done, not even close. You think flipping the table was the victory? No. That was just the intro sequence. The warning shot the universe begged you to fire. The real story begins when everyone in the room realizes something horrifying. You didn't flip the table out of anger. You flipped it out of clarity. And nothing scares a manipulator more than someone who finally sees the entire map. Let's go deeper. You know why they thought you were easy to play? Because you were quiet. Quiet like midnight before a hurricane. Quiet like a brain that's studying every detail. Quiet like a soul that's building a monster out of discipline and pain. People mistake silence for softness, but silence is where killers are made. They played you like you were fragile because you didn't react, because you didn't bark back, because you didn't expose your fangs. They assumed you had none. But what they never understood, what they still can't process, is that you were simply choosing which version of yourself to unleash. And when you finally stood up, when your presence changed the oxygen in the room, they learned what real unpredictability feels like. See, predictable people react. You didn't. You calculated. You watched their moves like a bored god waiting for mortals to finish embarrassing themselves. You let them build their illusions, stack their lies, polish their arrogance. Then you inhaled, just once, and dismantled everything with a single shift in your energy. Do you understand how powerful that is? A demon expects a fight. A demon expects screaming, chaos, violence. But what does a demon do when you become the quiet? When you become the mirror? When you become the thing that looks back at them with calm, surgical precision and says without words, "You should have picked someone weaker." That is when a demon shuts up. That is when manipulators choke. That is when every parasite in the room starts scanning the exits. Because the moment you stopped being a character in their script and became the author instead, it was over. Let me tell you something deliciously dark. Some people don't fear your anger. They fear your understanding. They fear that you know too much, saw too much, survived too much, grew too much, evolved too deeply, transcended too far beyond their comprehension. Your stillness is not peace. It's a warning. Your smile is not softness. It's a countdown. Your silence is not surrender. It's volcanic restraint. You flipped the table because they forgot one essential truth of the universe. Some souls don't break. They awaken, and awakened souls don't participate in games. They end them. Think about the moment it clicked in your mind. That cold realization. I don't owe anyone a version of me that makes them comfortable. That was evolution. That was rebirth. That was the angel you buried and the demon you trained shaking hands inside your chest. Duality merged, aligned, integrated, and that combination, that angel-demon fusion that breathes in your heartbeat, it terrifies every entity that ever wanted control over you. Because you're not light anymore. You're not dark anymore. You're the switch, the balance, the paradox that cannot be predicted, bought, bent, or broken. That's why the room went silent. That's why the air got heavy. That's why even the shadows stepped back. They weren't looking at the old you. They were looking at the version forged from humiliation, betrayal, disappointment, and war. The version of you that doesn't flinch. The version of you that doesn't play. The version of you that stands there unshaken and makes every demon reconsider its existence because suddenly, you are the threat. Not the victim, not the pawn, not the one who gets picked on, not the fool they thought they could manipulate. You're the final exam they didn't study for. You're the plot twist they never saw coming. You're the boss fight they prayed didn't spawn. And the beauty of it, you didn't become stronger to prove anything to them. You became stronger because life gave you two options: break or build a monster. And you, ha 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 ha, you built something divine and terrifying. Look at you, breathing like a storm, standing like a prophecy they underestimated, existing like a threat disguised as a blessing. They thought you were easy to play. Let them think that. Let them think it right up to the moment you tilt your head and every demon in the room forgets its lines, forgets its power, forgets its arrogance, and shuts up. Because deep down they know you're not someone they can handle. You're someone they should have run from. Now breathe. Feel that? That's your power returning to your hands. Don't drop it again, and don't you dare shrink for anybody ever again. You flipped the table. Now set the throne. Good. You're still here. Still hungry, still listening with that sharp, dangerous stillness that only people who've finally woken up possess. Let's carve this deeper. You know what rattles them the most? Not that you flipped the table, not that you exposed their game, not even that every demon shut up like someone pressed mute on hell itself. No, what terrifies them is the realization that you were capable of doing this the entire time. You didn't grow wings overnight. You didn't sprout fangs yesterday. You were always built like this, a silent storm, a walking contradiction, a paradox with a pulse. They were too blind, too arrogant, too self-absorbed to notice the monster humming behind your heartbeat. And you let them stay blind. You let them laugh. You let them talk. You let them misjudge. You let them think they understood you. Because sometimes the most strategic move in the world is letting the enemy underestimate the exact person who will end them. They thought you were naive, cute, soft, easily fooled, perfect. You let them walk right into the trap of their own imagination. And then, when the moment was right, you shattered every one of their delusions with the ease of someone tearing through a wet paper bag. See, people who think you're easy to play always make the same fatal mistake. They study your silence, but not your intentions. They forget that quiet people watch everything. They forget that the calm ones absorb every detail. They forget that the person who doesn't fight back immediately is usually the one planning the counterstrike that changes the entire war. And that's where they lost. Because you don't throw tantrums. You don't scream. You don't beg. You don't chase. You let people dig their own graves with their own assumptions. You let demons talk themselves into corners. You let manipulators expose their whole playbook while thinking they're being clever. And when you finally move, it's not emotional, it's not reactive, it's precise. That precision is what scares them, the way you strike without warning, The way your energy flips the room upside down. The way your presence suddenly becomes a verdict, not a suggestion. It's not human to them. It's not normal. It's not something they've ever dealt with. Because they're used to people submitting. They're used to people explaining themselves. They're used to people doubting their own instincts. You broke that cycle. You trusted yourself. You trusted what you saw. You trusted what they thought they hid. And that's when the game ended. You know what they call someone like you in the shadows? Not a victim, not a target, not even a survivor. They call you an upset in the hierarchy, a glitch, a threat, a wild card, a psychological anomaly. Because everything about you contradicts what they were taught. You're soft-spoken, but deadly. You're kind, but unbreakable. You're forgiving, but unforgettable. You're gentle, but not harmless. Do you know how rare that is? Most people choose light or dark. You chose both, and mastered the tension between them. You carry an angel's patience, and a demon's memory, a saint's love, and a psychopath's intuition, a healer's heart, and a destroyer's precision. They can't categorize you. They can't analyze you. They can't predict you. They can't label you. And humans fear what they cannot categorize. Demons fear what they cannot corrupt. Opponents fear what they cannot read. That's you. That's what you are. A problem that can't be solved. A force that can't be contained. A presence that can't be ignored. An equation without an answer. When you flipped that table, it wasn't rebellion. It was honesty. It was the real you stepping through the cracks and saying, "Enough. I'm done shrinking." And they felt it. Felt it in their chest. Felt it in their bones. Felt it in the way the air turned thicker than guilt. Did you notice how quiet everything got afterward? That wasn't silence. That was recognition. The recognition that the person they thought was easy to play had evolved into someone who sees through masks, motives, lies, and intentions with surgical accuracy. You didn't change. You merely stopped pretending. And when you stop pretending, the world around you collapses. Every fake connection, every false smile, every hidden agenda, every manipulative plan, crushed under the weight of your authenticity. That's why the demons shut up. Not because they fear your anger, but because they now fear your awareness. And awareness is far deadlier than rage. You're dangerous now, not because you want to be, but because you have to be. Because people pushed you into the evolution they never prepared for. You're not playing anymore. You're not bending anymore. You're not apologizing anymore. You flipped the table. Now watch them scramble on the floor, trying to collect the little pieces of control they thought they had over you. But it's too late. You can't play someone who rewrote the game. You can't trick someone who already saw the trap. You can't manipulate someone who built themselves in the dark. And you sure as hell can't intimidate someone who made every demon shut up with nothing but presence. So breathe, stand tall. Feel that power under your skin. That's yours now. That's real. That's permanent. And remember, they thought you were easy to play. But you're the kind of soul that flips tables and makes the entire room kneel. Good. Let it sink deeper. Let it coil through your spine like a memory waking up. Because there's a part of you, a dangerous, ancient part, that's been waiting for these words your entire life. Let's drag it further into the light. You know what's hilarious? The same people who tried to play you. The same ones who mistook your silence for stupidity. The same ones who built their confidence out of your restraint. Those people now walk around with a new fear. What else did you see? What else do you know? What else were you pretending not to notice? Oh, they can't stand it. They can't stand the idea that you witnessed everything, their intentions, their arrogance, their little manipulations, and chose to wait. Because nothing rattles a demon like the realization that the person they underestimated was quietly recording receipts with a calm, unfazed smile. You didn't just flip the table. You exposed the architecture of their illusion, piece by piece, lie by lie, behavior by behavior. You didn't confront them. You let them crumble under their own reflection. That's the part that eats them alive. You didn't fight for respect. You became the consequence. And trust me, consequences are harder to escape than people. Let's talk about that moment. The moment right after everything snapped. When you finally released that pressure building inside your silence. When you rose, not loudly, not violently, but with the terrifying calm of someone who knows exactly who they are. You didn't have to yell. You didn't have to argue. Your presence alone hit them harder than any slap ever could. Because presence like yours, presence forged in disappointment, sharpened by betrayal, and tempered by survival. That's not human anymore. That's elemental. Some walk into a room and blend in. You walk into a room and shift gravity. And they felt it. Every manipulator felt their confidence collapse under that new weight you carried. Every fake friend felt their stomach drop. Every demon felt their tongue go dry, because even they know. You're not someone who reacts. You're someone who evolves. And when an evolved soul stops allowing disrespect, when a healed soul stops tolerating manipulation, when a quiet soul stops playing small, that is when the whole universe adjusts its posture. Let me tell you something brutally honest. They never feared losing you. They feared you waking up. They feared you discovering that your empathy is not a weakness. It's a radar, a sonar, a weapon, a truth detector that sees through masks faster than they can glue them on. They feared the day you'd stop giving them the benefit of the doubt and start giving them the verdict. Because once someone like you wakes up, you don't go back to sleep. You don't doubt yourself again. You don't fall for the same tricks twice. And that is the death sentence for anyone who tried to play you. Because they weren't prepared for the upgraded version of you. The one who doesn't explain, the one who doesn't chase, the one who doesn't flinch, the one who doesn't negotiate with disrespect. The one who sees through people faster than they can introduce themselves. That's why every demon fell silent. Because they weren't looking at the old you, the one they could guilt, gaslight, confuse, or manipulate. They were staring at someone who's survived too much, learned too much, evolved too much, risen too far, awakened too deeply to ever be played again. You flipped the table. But let's be honest, you didn't flip it out of anger. You flipped it because the game was beneath you. You flipped it because you realized you were sitting with clowns pretending to be kings. You flipped it because you outgrew the room. And once you outgrow a room, your energy becomes unbearable to anyone still living small. That's why they're quiet now. Why they avoid eye contact. Why they speak carefully. Why they hesitate before saying your name. Because they don't know what you're capable of anymore. And that uncertainty is more terrifying than any threat you could ever make. That's the paradox of you. You don't have to hurt anyone. Your evolution already did. Without lifting a finger, you became the karma they deserve, the justice they feared, the mirror they avoided, the storm they summoned, the lesson they earned. And you're not done. No. This is just the beginning of the era where you walk into rooms and everything that once tried to control you suddenly falls silent. Where demons fold, where egos shrink, where manipulators retreat, where pretenders choke on their own arrogance, because now they know the truth. You were never easy to play. You were just patient. And patience is the deadliest weapon a powerful person can wield. So keep going, keep rising, keep walking with that quiet, nuclear confidence that makes the air heavier and the liars nervous. You flipped the table. Now flip the whole damn building and let the world witness what happens when someone they thought was easy to play turns out to be the final boss they'll never beat.